back, everybody. Thank you for listening in to the Triple B podcast. Altman Biggs and Seth Todd here. Happy New Year, everybody. But this episode, we're just going to kind of sit down, chat a little bit, and we'll go through the new categories in USAPL and just kind of go from there. So, Altman, how'd your New Year start out?
Pretty good. As a meathead, I started off the new year with training, as you do. Pretty good training session. About what am I? I'm like 35 days, so like about a little bit more than a month and a half out from the next meet or competition.
Yeah, your Strongman competition.
Yeah, so getting ready for that, but feeling pretty good. It was a good time. Good time to spend with family and friends. What about you, Seth?
It's been pretty good. Training as usual, getting down to the last few weeks of raw training before we hop into gear. I finally got my Super Katana back from Titan, and it is ridiculously tight. Like I can get it on, and I can get it pretty much set. But I'm going out to Starkville tonight to try it out with Dylan. But I don't see how I'm going to be able to bench anything, and a touch seems impossible at the moment. But Dylan's kind of calmed me down. We have 3 months to work in it and figure something out before nationals. That's plenty of time to break a shirt in.
So you can't what's the most amount of weight you've put on it so far?
I haven't put anything in this shirt so far.
Okay,
This is
okay.
a brand new shirt. But I took 335 in training, and I got that before the meet in November. And then I took 336 at the meet, and I couldn't get it.
Okay.
But that was in the F6.
So that was just a different.
Yeah, whole different shirt.
Gotcha.
I mean, it's like my arms are pinned like really close to my chest. I'm not even sure if I could be able to get out to my regular width.
hmm
And it's like right here. That's about all I can do.
And that's just you putting it on right now and just trying to.
Yeah,
That's pretty crazy.
but we'll see how it goes today. You know. Oh, don't want to forget, if somebody is listening to this on Monday the 4th, don't forget today is the last day to go and enter for the giveaway. Giveaway closes at Monday the 4th at 11:59 Central Time. Go in, check that out. We got the A7 giveaway, giving away a pair of knee sleeves, pair of wrist straps, and A7 shaker cup of your choice. But
So
so
what?
you mentioned, go
Go
ahead.
ahead. No, I don't have anything to say. It's not worth it.
So you said you had a little over 30 days till your strongman competition. How does the peaking for that differ from like a powerlifting competition?
Usually for this one, you just get more specific. You get more. So the weights of the competition they're going to be set. So you get as close as you can to those weights with whatever implements they're going to use. So it's going to be. So it's I have a car deadlift, a max sandbag carry, a sandbag press, a steel sandbag, which is just basically a steel canister that they load with weights, and you have to press it overhead as many times as you can. Um, and I've got a sandbag medley, which is 3 sandbags. You get them over the platform as fast as possible, and I'm pretty sure that's it. Yeah. So I'm just doing like trap bar deadlifts, getting as specific as possible. I don't know how much the car is going to weigh. Oh, and I have a truck pull. So practicing pulling a car as best I can, just getting a practice in there. I did a 7,000 pound car the other day, and it wasn't really like super hard or anything. So I want to go up because I know I can do more. I want to add another car to it, and it's gonna be a truck. I don't know how
So
big
I
the truck's
got
gonna be.
yeah. So I got two questions for you. One, I know that like I watch Brian Shaw and quite a bit, and I know that a lot of times they'll give them the events, but not tell them how much something weighs.
Yeah.
So like you said the events, but did they give you any kind of weights for these events?
No.
Just what the event is.
Yeah. So I'm going off like I'm guessing the sandbag. I'm doing the novice class. So I'm guessing the sandbag's gonna be about is gonna go up to max 300, and 300 sandbags not really crazy. Um,
Yeah.
it might be 300. I doubt it. That's just the max I'm thinking in my head. Um, But the max I've trained with is like a 250. And that wasn't too bad.
Um, and the yeah, and the carpool is that pulling the car forward like with the rope hand in hand, or is that like seated pulling the car towards you?
No, you're in front of the car and you're pulling it with
Okay,
I don't have a rope to do that, so I've just been doing it on all fours.
gotcha.
But I would say
Heck
you
yeah.
get a massive pump from it, massive leg pump. It's pretty.
That's like a good bit of cardio for a short period.
Oh yeah, dude. It's my legs have gotten when I measured my legs, they were an inch bigger than they were like 2 or 3 months ago. So I was like, oh wow, so
Wow.
something's working, or I'm just getting fat. One of those two.
Dude, that's crazy. You're kind of making me want to try out strongman at some point.
Dude, it's interesting. It's definitely like Bill Kazmaier says, just to be strong. Like if I'm doing a novice at competition, I'm not really too focused on being as specific as possible. I just want to train and have fun and get as strong as. If I get stronger in the squat and the deadlift, I'm gonna have a better sandbag carry and everything like that. Um, it's just I'm so young at it right now. I can be specific, but I don't have to be as specific
Yeah.
because the better you get, the more advanced you get, the more specific you have to be with the movements. Because you're strong at everything else, but now you to be the best, you have to be as specific as possible.
Yeah. So if you did you watch the 2020 World's Strongest Man on TV?
I didn't watch it on TV. I saw all the. I watched it as it was going on.
Okay.
I kind of just kept
So
track with it.
yeah, if you could do any of the events, which one would it be?
Um, I really want to try. They didn't do the monster truck pool. I would have wanted to try that one. I want to do the farmers. I like farmers. They did that was in the preliminary one. They did that in the preliminary. Either the farmers or the anvil and yoke carry. Because I've never done
Oh
that.
yeah, that was cool.
Yeah, I've never done that before, so I'd like to try that. Or the 18-inch deadlift. I think that would be cool. Get to pull some
Yeah,
heavy
I don't
weight.
know. It'd be between for me the deadlift. I'd want to try the Hercules hold because I feel like I have pretty strong grip, or maybe the like the anvil and yoke carry.
Yeah. And the anvil was only 275, so it wasn't like a super heavy. Like, well, like
Yeah,
honestly, like 275 is really not that much. It's just what,
I've never carried anything.
dude. You'd be surprised. Like a 200-pound sandbag is really not that heavy. If you can deadlift a good bit, it's not going to be too bad. Um, it's a lot easier to hold on to than a rock too. I've been training with rocks because I don't have sandbags, and a rock
Yeah,
is very big and cumbersome. It's a little bit harder to carry, but a sandbag you can actually wrap around it.
yeah. Dang, I might have to try out a competition. One of these years when I get a little burnt out on powerlifting, just
Yeah,
for a
dude.
change.
I think you'd like it. You enjoy it.
So, I know you've heard about these new USAPL categories.
Hmm.
So they got adaptive athlete, para bench, MX, and then raw with wraps. And judging from these, I can already tell which one you're most excited for.
Definitely the raw with wraps. You know me.
Yeah,
I'm not a
I
full on
know.
cheater yet with the suit, but I will jump in the wraps.
Look, I've told you this before. Wraps are just like equipment light. They're for people
Yeah.
who are scared of real equipment.
Oh, the scared. Okay.
But yeah, it'll get you to hop in a suit one day. We'll get some briefs on you.
Considering that Ed Cohen did squat a world record using wraps, so I'm gonna. He's definitely definitely a child or whatever.
Yeah, but he also did single ply.
Really?
Yeah, he had a whole very long career in single ply, and actually
But he's known for raw.
he yeah he
Okay.
was ridiculously strong raw. Um, but yeah, what do you think about the other ones like adaptive athlete?
Um, I mean, if it gets more, I assume they're going from the standpoint of getting more participants. They're trying to grow the sport,
Yeah,
and it's a new world nowadays. It's 2020, well, 2021 now. So it's definitely a new world, different people, and shoot, why not? Give them a shot, give them a chance to try out. If they want to do it, they can do it. But again, it's just from a growth perspective. I think they're just trying to grow the sport more.
yeah, I think it's awesome. I want to see people with like because I know back in that meet you did in September. there was a guy there with only one leg,
Yeah,
and he was still able to do everything pretty well. But that's from what I read, that's what the adaptive athlete category is for. Is for people who have lost a limb or can't lock out their knees or can't grip the bar quite the same. But I think it's cool. I want to see some people get after it
yeah,
that
and
don't
mad
have.
respect to those people too.
Absolutely, man.
I think he benched too. I remember him benching. He did
Yeah,
every. I think he did almost everything.
yeah. And I asked him, and I made the I made the assumption that he was a veteran, and I asked him. I said, "Hey, man, are you a veteran?" Because I wanted to thank him. He was like, "No, man, I just had I think he said like childhood illnesses, maybe cancer. He had to get it amputated."
Man,
He's like,
that's
"Oh, I'm
that's very
sorry."
rough. But thank you though.
Yeah, yeah, still competing. Um, yeah. So Ed Cohn, he squatted. It doesn't have his raw squat on here, but he squatted 1,038 in single ply, bench 578, and deadlifted 901. And what's crazy is he lifted from 1981 until 2007
Wow,
consistently, and then
that's
did a world
impressive.
championships in 2014 in Australia.
Wow, that's impressive. 30
But
years of lifting,
yeah, that's
of heavy
did
lifting.
his first meet at 17, at 165 in single ply, had a 501 squat, 325 bench, and a 545 deadlift.
That was at 17.
Yeah,
I'm
in
trying to shoot that now.
1981. So the equipment was not near the same thing as it was back
Oh,
then.
definitely not, dude. You actually had to be
But
strong back then.
yeah, he was for sure strong.
That's
But
pretty
yeah,
crazy.
what do you think is gonna maybe change about the sport with the raw with wraps category?
More records. I think we're going to get a lot of people from the USPA. Well, the USPL is going to get a lot more people from the USPA because the USPA has the raw with wraps.
Oh, do they?
Yes, and people will be.
Oh, okay.
I'm curious to see if they're going to. Do you think it's going to be nationals? They're going to put that in nationals. Well, no. Well, the raw with wraps is going to compete with the equipped guys. That's what they
Oh
said.
yeah, that would make sense.
So it would be equipped lifting, but just called raw with wraps. So you would compete against the equipped guys, but all things considering, some of the raw categories are higher in totals than the equipped guys.
Yeah,
So imagine if you
they
put
yeah.
yeah. So imagine if you put wraps on Russell Orhe. He could win equipped.
So let me ask you this: do you think raw guys who are already super strong, who don't do equip lifting, like Russ, do you think guys like that who are already raw, who throw on reps, will overall be stronger than equipped guys
Um. Well, they're already
who go
stronger.
to just raw with reps?
Uh. Well, I'll say this. So, like you for your equipment, it's a skill. So in
Yeah,
the beginning, Russell might actually get worse, while the equipped guys are used to that. But when Russell gets used to the wraps and can figure out his technique for the wraps, then yes, I think he would soar way above those guys.
yeah, I agree because it's you're taking the raw guys and they're already at their cap raw, and then they're adding something else. Or if the equipped guys, they do training raw, but they're taking away a piece of equipment. So
Yeah. So yes,
yeah, I think the raw guys would do better.
I do too. I think that's gonna be interesting to see. I like to do one, but I have to when I get back with y'all, I'll probably try some wraps just a couple of times
Yeah,
just to see what they're
and
like.
you really wouldn't need a whole lot of time in them.
Yeah.
Maybe 6 weeks. I'd
Okay.
say would be plenty because they they'll change the way you squat probably the first 3 or 4 times, and you'll get used to them. But I don't think it would take too long to get used to reps.
And don't you usually want to sit back more with wraps?
Yeah,
Okay. Instead of having your
you
knees
also
this far over your toes.
yeah, but and you got to be okay with the pain too,
Yeah. Yeah.
because You'll want to get them suckers off quick.
But hey, if you just can, what, you can add like 50 pounds to your squat if you get used to them.
I'd say with the right wraps and a good wrap, when you're used to them, 50 pounds is probably the cap.
Okay.
But
So in the
shoot,
beginning, like 10, 15, 25.
yeah, yeah, for
Okay.
sure, at least 15, 25. But
Okay.
Russ can prove us wrong and throw 75 on his squat.
That's true. I think it comes down to the technique of how you do the lift too.
Yeah, and I think the equipment industry is happy about this because they'll sell more stuff.
Absolutely,
Um,
dude. They were probably
and
pushing for that.
oh yeah, and I also think that it'll get more people into equipped lifting
Hmm.
because to throw on reps, you kind of need someone there that has already dabbled in equipment or has
Yeah.
experience with it. So you get into reps, you train in those, do a meet or two, and then you see the guys in suits, and you're like, man, I wonder if I put one of those on, what I could do. And there you go, the new equipped lifter is born.
Yep. Um. Yeah. I've been wondering that myself. I've been very curious. But wait, so I do have a question. Like, so with the super katana and the shirts like that, you can, if you're a narrow grip bencher, you can make it to where it's better for your narrow grip, right? Or do you have to
I
be
mean,
like you can get the shirt fixed to where it's better for your narrow grip instead of having a wider grip with a shirt?
they may can do something with that, but the only measurements they take to make the shirt are your flex bicep, your chest, your height, and your weight. So they don't take any consideration in your grip width,
Okay.
but they do. You can get an angled sleeve or a straight sleeve, and the angled sleeve, if you have more of a arch, you're going to be touching lower.
Okay.
So, but I mean it. I don't know.
I'd have to
I've
relearn
always I've,
my bench completely
I've
because I'm
always been with a wide air grip,
yeah.
so we'll have to see how this goes today. But I have been working a lot of close grip Larsons, so if I have to bench close grip, I have to.
Yeah. Dude, I'm a big close grip fan. Like
Yeah.
it's super explosive off the chest, especially if you like the bigger your back. I feel like if you kind of row it and then you can feel
Hmm.
your lat engage, and it's kind of like your
Yeah.
lat acts like a spring for you, and it just pushes you back off.
Yeah. The only thing that I think that might change is if you go to a close grip, you're taking some of the stretch out of the chest piece
Okay.
because when you're bringing the bar down, there is it's going to stretch the chest first.
Hmm.
The level on the shirt, where you get to a point where you can't go down any further. So you have to tuck your elbows a little bit and use the material behind the elbows to get that last little bit to the chest.
Okay, gotcha.
So it might use less of the chest plate if you have a closer grip. I don't know. I haven't tried that.
Interesting. Guess guess we'll have to figure out and try. I've never seen like a quick guy go close grip though, so I'm guessing there's a reason for that.
Yeah, that's probably why. Like I just said, it uses less of the chest plate
Yeah.
and uses more when you're out wide.
Yep.
But it's in this shirt, I feel like it'd be pretty hard to get out wide. But we'll have to see.
So um what's the next new category they have? We've got adaptive, we got raw with wraps. What's I think there's a
Uh,
few more, right?
yeah, there's MX and Parabench, and it looks like the MX is really just to include people who don't identify as male or female. And there's actually the interesting thing about that is there's different weight classes. They're not going to stick with the normal USAPL weight classes or IPF.
Hmm.
They have 44 kilo, 48, 52, 56, 60, 67 and a half, 75, 82 and a half, 90, 100, 110, 125, 140, and 140 plus.
That's a ton of weight classes.
Yeah, that's 14 weight classes.
So that's opening up just an entire new thing,
Yeah,
an entire new area.
that's Because I think 100 kilos is 220. Isn't that what USPA uses?
Maybe I'm not too sure. I know they use like 93, not 93. I think they use like 90.
Yeah, 90 and 100, and
Yeah.
then 115 maybe. I don't know. Um, but let me ask you this question. Me and Dylan were talking about it. And specifically for the women's 84 plus, um, because if you look at the top end of the men's weight classes, it goes up to 120 plus, which is 261. And then anything over that is in a weight class together. So you could be 270, or you could be 403 like Pena is. He's a big boy. So, but the difference is for women, 84, it only goes up to, what is that, 178 something,
Hmm.
somewhere around there. Um, and that's a decent sized girl, but that's not a huge girl. You
Yeah.
know, 260 for a guy, that's pretty big.
That's a big dude.
So
Yeah.
like, specifically for the I'm not gonna put any names out, but for the girls that are like over 300, they obviously they can lift more because they have more body weight and they have more place to store muscle. But for a girl that's 300, that's over 100 pounds past the top or the minimum of that weight class. So, do you think there should be another weight class added on to girls for the bigger ones?
I think so. Yeah. Because like you said, 180 versus a 300. Like a bigger girl could hopefully squat more because if a 180 girl can squat twice her body weight, that's what like three something. And then
Yeah, like 360 versus a 300-pound girl being able to squat 600.
yeah, like if you're squatting and stuff, you should be able to you should be able to squat twice your body weight. And when you're 300 pounds, if you're a bigger person, you can put on muscle mass. Obviously, you can put on mass easier, so you can probably put on muscle mass a little bit easier as well because you're not having to. You have enough fat so that when you take in nutrients, that all that nutrient can just go to building muscle instead of having to fuel everything else in your body.
Yeah, and like another thing is I don't I don't know how they do the good lifter points, what they're using right now, but I know when they did Wilks, they factored in body weight, and for the people for like you were saying, the girl that squats twice her body weight at 180 versus the girl that squats twice her body weight at 300, or girl at 180 squats, let's say 300, and the girl that weighs 300 also squats 300, they're going to have vastly different, wilks, but they're in the same category.
Yeah, it, I think there should be a bigger weight class, especially I think like if you have these guys that are 400 pounds and they're in 300 pounds plus, I think there should be a weight class for that as well. Because like these guys
Yeah.
know that if they get the bigger they get, the more they're gonna be able to lift. Because let's be honest, like weight moves weight. In the end, weight moves weight. Like if you want to get bigger and stronger, you're gonna have to gain some weight. Some people don't have to. Like look at Austin Perkins, look at Russell Orhe. They again, I'm gonna say they're genetically gifted people, but some people just have to gain weight. Like look at Caleb. Caleb's one of those guys that for him to get stronger, he's gained weight. He's gained muscle mass. He's just gaining weight. So because again, mass moves mass. The bigger you weigh, the bigger you are, the more you can lift. That's what happens to me. That's what happens to Caleb. I'm sure that's probably what happens to you. The bigger you get, the stronger you feel.
Yeah, so like the MX category, the last one on that was 140 kilo, and that's up at 308. And I think even if they put like a like for guys like a 140 145 kilo in for the regular males, and then maybe a 105 and higher kilo class for women.
Hmm.
You know, I mean that makes a pretty huge jump. Like the reason they removed one of the weight classes in the middle range of girls is because it was like an 11 kilo jump from 62 to 73, going from 82 and a half to, or 84 kilo, yeah, 84 to 105. That's a 21 kilo jump, but I feel like it'd make for better competition among the bigger girls above
Yeah,
84.
I mean, if you get a girl that weighs 300 pounds, she's probably just like without even trying, she's probably gonna be able to squat more than most of those people.
Yeah.
Yeah, without even trying. Um, so yeah, I think there should definitely be a weight class above that, just so they can have, or maybe one or two weight classes.
Yeah. And like, some girls that are just naturally big, they're going to have strength to start out with when they
Yeah,
start lifting. But there might be a girl that has been training for 8 or 10 years and, due to dieting and stuff, she is only barely able to get up to that 84 kilo class.
yeah,
And she's worked so hard to have, X squat when this bigger girl jumps in who's 120 pounds more than her and has more than that X squat just because she's, bigger.
yeah, and she's been lifting less.
Right.
So yeah, I think we can both agree that there needs to be a definitely another weight class there, just to make it a little bit more even, a little bit more fair. Um,
Yeah.
I say even for the guys too, because there are plenty of guys that are over 260.
Yeah. I mean, even for guys, I've been up to 275 and,
Yeah,
you know, the the definition of a big guy that other people use is a lot different than what I use
hmm
because I look at a guy that's my size, 6'3", 6'2", over 200, like in the 240, 250 range. I'm like, oh, that's a normal size guy. Other people see that and they're like, wow, that dude's huge.
yeah,
Like a huge guy to me. Like one time I was walking on campus and I was behind two Mississippi State D linemen, and these guys were about 6'5", 6'6", probably 320, 330 easy. And that's one of the first times I've ever felt small
yeah,
walking behind these guys.
yeah, man. They're huge, and they're not fat either. They're just like they have a little bit of fat, but they're just like big.
They're just built.
Yeah, they're
They're
genetic
just
freaks.
built to move people on the field.
Oh, for sure, dude. But yeah, um, I'm gonna piggyback off what you said. My definition of a big dude is like I'm only 5'9", so my definition of a big guy is like 220, 230. If I see a guy that's like that and is as much, I'm like, okay, that's a pretty big dude there. Especially
So
if
I'm
you're
a big
like
dude.
5'9", you're 6'3". I
Wait,
didn't say
so
that.
you're only
I didn't.
taking you're
I
only
didn't.
taking weight into being big?
Yeah, well, I said height too. Like if someone's like 5'9",
Hmm.
like Big Ramey, who won the Olympia this year. He's 5'10", and he weighed in at 280 something pounds, shredded. He got
What
up
do you
to
weigh in at?
280 like 6 pounds shredded. That was his stage weight.
Oh
And in the
gosh,
off season, he's 350
jeez,
at 5'10".
that's
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 fucking huge.
crazy how much weight they can cut and not die.
Oh yeah, well they all feel like death in the end, but
Yeah, that's I've heard the end stages before competition are the worst.
yeah. Um, but one of the things that when I was with the football team, the coaches were like, "Altman, if you're not 200 pounds, you're not a man yet." I'm like, "Well, damn, I got to get up to 200 pounds."
I don't know why that is like the number for some people.
Well,
Like,
it's just a good, like especially for I'm a hard gainer. It's hard for me to gain weight. I have to work out
yeah,
less, so when I eat, I can actually put on size.
yeah, and it also depends on your height and your
Yeah,
frame.
yeah,
Like, I hit 200. I don't know. I was probably 200 freshman year, maybe. I don't know,
yeah.
but um, I'm kind of mad that I did get up that big in football because they're getting back down to a healthy weight for my body. There are consequences for that. I got some leftover skin
Yeah.
from where I got big and then got small. But oh well.
You got sports specific, dude.
I did, but I wouldn't trade those days in football for anything. As much as I talk trash about my coach and the hell we went through, I wouldn't trade him for nothing because arguably I probably wouldn't be as strong as I am now. You
Yeah.
know,
Or know
post high school without football.
yeah, or know what to do and what not to do.
Yeah, because I just gained a lot of barbell experience from
Yeah.
football.
building that base. Exactly.
But speaking of Mississippi State and football, what do you think about that brawl after the bowl game?
I'm gonna go with what Mike Leach said. It was stupid.
It shouldn't happen again.
Yeah, yeah. Like the same thing happened like as the Egg Bowl 2 years ago. Like,
Yeah,
I mean, guys, we won. There's no reason to fight anybody. They're trying to fight you because you beat them.
yeah.
So don't give. But of course, testosterone. These guys are like 12 years old in the head. Um, and then they just. I mean, I'll
I
give
mean,
you.
it was pretty foolish for a couple of Tulsa players to come over to the state sideline
Yeah, I mean, come on,
and
guys.
think that they were going to win.
Yeah, and
I
then
mean, you even had the Gatorade guy get in on it. Did you see that?
dude, everybody was in on it. Like, it didn't matter what the coaches like. The coaches were in the line there; you could see it, and then they were just like punching over them.
Yeah, and I don't know if you saw it. Mike Leach was up on the other side of the field taking pictures with fans while this happened.
He's like, "Let the boys play."
Yeah, but like one guy at the gym asked me, he asked me what I think about it, and he said, um, obviously that it doesn't bode well or represent the school and the program in the proper way,
Yeah,
but and it shouldn't happen again. But he was saying that he thinks they need to do like a whole, just a whole revamp of the program. Start from the bottom, get guys that want to work for something. Um, but
I'll say
a
that.
brawl is not the way to represent a school.
Oh, definitely not. Absolutely not, dude. But I will say this: kids down here are a lot different than up north and somewhere in other places. There's a lot.
What do you mean by that?
Um, like from the coaches I've talked up north, they said that the kids there respect them a lot more. There's a lot more respect there. When and then like kids down here, on the football guys, like we would ask them to do something, they'd be like, "Man, fuck you, coach." You kind of have to like wrestle with them to get them to kind of respond to you or just to do what you want them to do. You have to like not wrestle with them like figuratively. Like you have to
Mhm.
banter back and forth and just
Yeah,
kind of show them like I'm the boss here. You're not the boss. I'm the boss. Now let's do what we're supposed to do.
yeah,
I'm trying to
yeah.
be
There was a couple guys on my high school team that were like that. Well, the first problem was coach started him as a freshman, and
yeah
so he thought he was all that in a pack of sugar. So a couple times that he just walked off of practice because he got mad.
yeah. It happens the same way. Now don't get me wrong. There are tons of great guys. There really are. But there are also some guys that just like you have to put in work just to get them to do something because they just constantly just they're trying to find a little loophole that they can get by you or not do it. They're constantly trying to figure that out. But there are some really good guys. I'm not going to say names. I'm not going to say too much more because I don't really want this to come back and bite me in the ass. but
Yeah,
um, but yeah, I do think it's definitely for in the South. It's a little bit different coaching kids than it is up north.
yeah, I'd agree to that because I think for one what feeds into that is the high school football culture. You know,
Yeah,
and I hadn't been to a whole lot of high school football games up north. I hadn't been to any honestly, but like in the South and especially Texas, football is different.
oh yeah, for sure. It's like it's a way of life. Like if you're not, dude, I'd agree, man. Like if you're not good at your sport, you're nobody. I mean, the South
Yeah,
is so sport driven. Like if you're not good at a sport, like I didn't play football, and I might be wrong about this, but I feel like there's like a gap between me and some of the coaches because they're like, oh, you didn't play football, so I don't respect you. I think there's something there, and they're just like
yeah,
if you
I
didn't help
can
them,
I can see that because like the I mean for my high school, the guys that didn't play or play a little bit and then left, the coaches did not give a rat's ass about you.
yeah,
You know,
exactly,
football coaches are all about what you can do for them.
yeah. It's an
What,
ego thing,
how you can benefit the program. Yeah,
yeah,
and if you can't help them get a win, they really don't care a whole lot about you.
Yeah, yeah. Exactly. I agree. I agree.
But
I just hate that that's like the if you're not a man unless you like play football or do this sport or something like that. That's what it seems like to me is down in the South. Like I put on my Facebook one day, um, there's more to life than high school football, and I got some blowback from it from high school football coaches. And I was like,
wow, that's bold to say, Altman.
well, yeah, I think it needed to be said. They're like, well, why do you say that? I was like, well, because it's you put so much emphasis into like high school football and that this is the best time of their life when this is like just the beginning.
Yeah,
There's so much more to life than just this high school football. Yes, it's important to you. I understand that, but it's also a way that you can teach these kids to be better men in the end, not just to say, all right, I just want you for this. This is all I care about during your lifetime, and after this, you're dead to me.
yeah, I completely agree. There were multiple times that we heard that exact statement. You know, this is the best time of your life,
Yeah,
and
which
it
is
it may have been the best time of my life because I was young. I mean, I still am young. What am I talking
yeah,
about?
you got that baby
But
face right now.
it wasn't it wasn't the best time of my life because I was playing football. You know,
Yeah,
it was a great time. I enjoyed it. I made a lot of memories, but I think high school football coaches, as much time as they spend with athletes, through training during the season, through the off season, summer workouts, I was seeing my coaches and my teammates more than I've seen my own family at some points during the
yeah,
year. And these football coaches, they can have a big impression on athletes, and
absolutely,
I
dude.
think they should use the influence that they have to make these young men set them up better for life.
I 100% agree, dude. We need to tell them that they have the rest of their life to get better. Like, yes, we want to get you better for this game, but if you're a freshman, I'm gonna tell you like, okay, we have these 4 years to make you as good as we can. But in that process,
Yeah,
we're gonna make you a better leader. We're gonna make you a better man. Like, if you mess up, you mess up. That's fine. Like, I'm not gonna come up here and keep on yelling at you because you messed up. Now, if you keep on doing it on purpose, okay, I might get a little pissed off. But these guys are kids, man. They're like their attention span is like that of a fly. That there's nothing there. So you have to be patient with them and just
yeah, it's only 4 years. It's
yeah,
there's so much more life to live after football than just breaking down your body and turn into a different person for some wins and losses.
yeah. And there's people. I feel like people get stuck in that small town mentality. Like what I mean by the small town mentality is like high school football is it. If I don't do good at this, then my life is going to be hell after this, and or this is my life, and after that, it just I become an adult and life gets boring. I think that to
Yeah,
me that's the small town mentality.
yeah, and life doesn't have to get boring.
Not at
If
all.
that's why I think powerlifting is such a great escape for people. And if you already have played high school football, you have somewhat of a base going into it,
Yeah,
and then it's a way for a lot of people to relieve stress, to kind of get out of their own head and just focus on something else besides work or school.
yeah.
I think that's why we try to get people into it. Start strength training.
I 100% agree. Um, it's just about finding what you like, and just know that there, in the end, there's going to be always be something better. You're always going
Yeah,
to.
exactly.
This is only the beginning. I've like if you think you're gonna when you get out of high school that you're gonna be finished, that there's nothing else for you to do, then yeah, there will be nothing else for you to do. You will be finished. But if you go in with the mindset
Yeah,
like, oh, I'm just getting started. Let's get this shit done. I'm ready to go. Then opportunity will present itself.
yeah. You just got to look for what you want in life. You know.
Yes.
But and a little reminiscing we did here.
Yeah, I'm getting emotional now, man.
But anything else you want to throw into this episode?
um, I do want to say one thing about New Year's resolutions. A lot of New Year's resolutions are getting a lot of bad rap. And hey, if you make a New Year's resolution and you do it, I don't care if it's for like 2 weeks. That's better than most people. Like a lot of people, like yes, no, you didn't complete it, but I'd rather you do something and maybe start being consistent and maybe just doing a little bit at a time, and then that will evolve into you doing it for a lifetime.
Yeah, so I'll piggyback off that and say if you make a New Year's resolution, don't call it a New Year's resolution. Just call it a goal because there's a lot of negative connotation around New Year's
Yeah,
resolution. People make them, and there's plenty of studies that say most of them don't happen past February. So if you make one, and if you make a New Year's resolution and it doesn't end up planning out, you don't continue doing that. You're like, whatever. It was just a resolution, but instead call it a goal.
yeah,
That's what I think.
I like that.
So, so what are some of your goals for the podcast this year?
Honestly, man, get more content for people, definitely grow, and just as us in general, just become better talkers and listeners.
And learners, learn some more.
Yeah, we have to keep learning. That's absolutely it.
Yeah, yeah. I want to see the show get exposed to more people, and more people to learn something from it, and then I want listeners, on what they want to hear, and we're starting to get a little bit more through the giveaway,
Hmm.
but I want to hear people's suggestions on what they want to hear, things they don't want to hear about, who
Yeah,
they want to hear from, stuff like that.
exactly. So tell us who you want to hear from. Send us a message, DM us. Be sure to enter the giveaway. You got one. Yeah, this is the last day to enter it. So enter it.
Tomorrow's the last day.
Yeah. So tomorrow, which is going to be Monday, the 4th of January. So make sure
Oh dang,
if
yeah.
you're listening to this a week after this, after January 4th, you're done. It's over with. Bye bye. You lost.
But don't worry. We'll probably have plenty of A7
Yep.
gear laying around. They supported us very very
Yes.
well. So there will be another giveaway at some point. Not sure if we'll do like a 5,000 listen giveaway or a 10,000 listen or maybe a July 4th giveaway. Who knows? But there will be another one, a chance to win some A7 gear. So don't hold out.
Yep. If me
But
and
other
Seth
than
don't
that,
take it off, that's the.
yeah, yeah. If Altman doesn't decide that he wants to start wearing wrist wraps,
Dude, you've been posting this picture. I'm like, hmm.
they're pretty nice. I'm telling you.
I'm gonna have to look into a pair. I will say I got some
That's
deadlift shin guards. That's the first piece of equipment I've gotten so far.
deadlift shin guards.
Yeah,
What?
like so when you deadlift, it doesn't destroy your shins every time you scrape the bar up against them.
You mean deadlift socks?
No, 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 no. Deadlift shin guards. Like they're not shin guards.
Oh
They're
my
they're,
god.
they're like fabric. And instead of looking like I'm about to go play soccer in the gym, I can just put those on. I'll look even more badass.
Golly. I'm kind of disappointed, Altman.
What? Okay, when you're at school, the deadlift bar, that one of those I don't really care about the bar I use. I just pick up a bar and use it. But one of the bars was it was like brand new knurling, and my shins were bloody like the entire time. I'm like,
That's why
okay,
you wear deadlift socks.
yeah, but deadlift sucks. I just wanted this. Yeah, I just wanted.
Oh, Altman.
So I get to look cool now, you know.
You might be cool one day.
Wow, wow.
Maybe when you finally get into some equipment like some wraps.
Okay, okay, okay. Maybe, maybe.
But
But
that's about all I got.
yeah, that's all I got, man.
Yeah, so Happy New Year, folks. Make sure you enter that giveaway if you're listening on Monday, January 4th. If not, it's closed. We'll do another one at some point. But thanks for listening. We'll new episodes every Monday, and go let us know who you want to hear from. So see you next week.